Sean here, recording from Cherry Tree Grove Retirement Village. I've just delivered an awesome luncheon just about retirement finances and all of the changes to a prospective group of residents. Had a glass of wine with lunch, which was amazing. I've walked out. I was too in the moment to do anything other than a quick picture there, but just looking around, it's amazing with the golf green, everything else. I can understand why there's none of these units left, but just talking to a lot of people, there were probably the three most common questions that I got from it were like, one of them was around the leasehold versus license and freehold. Does it actually make a big difference? Now, when it comes to, because we talked a lot about the age pension, the answer was no. With the value, with all of these, basically when it comes to them, one of these retirement villages is treated like your family home. And typically almost all of these are independent living units where you basically live independently. You might pay what's like a strata cost with the monthly cost, but most of your own other utilities, everything else you look after, which is fairly normal. And, with the ranges of people here ranging from 55 to, the average age being in the 70s, it's pretty common that it's fairly independent. So that was a very, very common question that was coming up a lot. Now, the other one that came up, not so much retirement village focused as much, was around the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card. Now, shockingly, a lot of people weren't aware of the increase in the thresholds, where it was in the around 90,000-ish for a couple, which is now sitting a bit over 150,000. So basically for people over the age of 67, there's a whole lot of people who they're just not used to dealing with Centrelink for age pension, anything else. It's not part of their life, and it makes complete sense why. And they're probably not paying full attention to all of the budget nights. They're not staying up late listening to all of the budget changes like I would. So we figured out there are a whole lot more people who are eligible. And the other one, when it came to the pre-planning and everything else, there were a few questions about aged care. And I guess the first one is, a lot of it is once you, again, home care, things that you're entitled to, that if you've got these things in place, in some situations, it may either stave off aged care or make sure that it's not even needed. But one of the myths that got dispelled here is that you don't always need to pay a bond. It came up with, we had a question asked about being a couple. Now, what does someone do? If they're living in one of these retirement villages, they've got some assets, how are they going to come up with the money to pay a bond, especially if they don't have enough? So, fortunately, I had a nice little answer ready to go. But basically, your home, which for a lot of people living here, the residents here, is exempt, and that is that retirement village. So that's generally exempt while the spouse remaining at home is in it. And then they basically assess your needs. The more you have, the more you pay. And, as there's often a lot of structure that can go into it. But on this lovely Melbourne day, and I'll put up a picture separately, this is an absolutely glorious place to be. You can probably see all the sun all over me. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to go back into my office after this, but not by choice. Anyway, have a good one.